our desire to engage in further discussion about this process. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The question is that the motion be... Oh, I apologise.
Yeah, Madam Speaker.
No, Patterson.
Yes, I hope it won't be so inconsequential that... yeah, Madam Speaker, I'll just rise actually for a very brief contribution just to affirm New Zealand First's support for this subordinate legislation confirmation bill. I do note, which I just have been following the debate around the process, note that the Minister has offered to look into it as part of the triennial review, and it does sound like there is some cause for that. I would note, just for some context, for example, when we're looking at the Commodity Levies Act and the levies that this is being delegated to bring into force, or the rate of, these industries all they come to the Minister after having wide consultation within the sector involved, and often there'll be a vote, and most of the votes that I've seen on these commodity levies have got 95% or so of the participants in the actual, who are the actual payers of these levies, have shown support. So I think we need to have a little bit of context there around some of this too. We don't want to wrap it up in too much red tape. We're merely confirming what these industries have debated and wished for during their consultation process. So that will no doubt be taken into account within that wider discussion. But outside of that, New Zealand First is very happy to support this legislation, whilst it's not the highest profile legislation. As Nicola Willis mentioned before, it is actually really important for those industries. The acts and the Commodities Levies Act, the Custom Exercise Act, the Retirement and Income Act, biosecurity, they're all really important issues that this country faces. So having the mechanisms in place to enact the legislation, the regulations, is really important. So New Zealand First support that. I would commend the Regulations Review Committee for wading through this. I note Nicola Willis showed some enthusiasm for that committee. I'm glad I'm not on it. It does sound fairly dry old stuff, but we do need people that are motivated to look and trawl through the details of this stuff. It's important for our democracy that you do. I'm glad that it's not me. But without further ado, Madam Speaker, New Zealand First supports this bill.
Thank you, and I apologise to the member again. Okay, we're done? Okay, the question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it.
Subordinate Legislation Confirmation Bill number 2, second reading.
This bill is set down for third reading forthwith.
Madam Speaker, I move that the subordinate...
Call the Honourable Chris Hipkins.
Madam Speaker, I move